The longest relationship you will have in this lifetime is the one that you have with yourself. So often we chase the bag, we chase the person, we chase the promotion, all in an effort to feel better and whole and worthy. But in reality, there is nothing you have to do, nothing you have to seek in order to be worthy and deserving. Just sitting here, you're worthy and deserving. And I can say that until I'm blue in the face, but it is up to you to be able to believe it in order to receive it. And so this video is ways to love yourself more deeply in a practical way. And I spent so much of my 20s and my adolescence chasing things and validation and attention and accolades and things outside of myself in order to feel whole and complete. And now I finally know that I have to do nothing. I need nothing outside of myself in order to feel worthy and deserving. Just sitting here in my apartment, I'm worthy and deserving. I don't need to prove anything. I don't have to perform. I don't have to produce in order to be worthy and deserving. And so the first thing I want to say is when we are babies, we know that we're worthy and deserving. We play with our feet, we're happy, we're joyful, and our mothers were super happy when they heard our heartbeat. There was nothing we had to do. There was no conditions that we placed upon ourselves in order to feel happy and complete. But as we grow, we start picking up messages on what makes us worthy, what makes us beautiful, what makes us deserving of love. And we start putting conditions on who we are, and we start feeling othered, right? And we think we have to earn it, and we think we have to achieve it, when in reality, we don't. What I like to call this journey is returning to the self that already knew. When you were a baby, when you were a child, before you picked up on those messages from society, from your parents, from your teachers, from your friends, from the government, you knew that you were worthy. You were joyful. You didn't have to be and seek and do in order to feel worthy and deserving. And so this video is how to return back to that true essence of who you are. You are already worthy. You are already deserving. And we just forgot who we were through the programming. So these are 10 steps on how to actually love yourself. And this is from the book, The Power is Within You by Louise Hay. She is my favorite author. And this is how I learned to love myself. So the first one is to stop criticizing yourself. And this is really hard if you grew up with a critical parent, if you grew up in a critical or dysfunctional background, because when you grow up in dysfunction, there are messages you start to pick up because you're like, okay, if this is happening, then there's something wrong with me. When we're young, we internalize the behavior of others. And for me, affirmations really helped me learn how to stop criticizing myself. I think I thought I was self-aware, and then I started to say affirmations, and I realized how hard I was on myself and how critical I was of myself, especially in the mirror. At least for me, in the mirror, that was when I was like the most critical, the most nitpicky, and forcing yourself to say kind things to yourself in the mirror really builds an awareness on how you speak to yourself day to day. And also, it's like when you say something kind to yourself in the mirror and the immediate response is something negative or like, oh, that's not true, that's your key indicator of, ooh, that's something I need to build. Ooh, that's a belief I need to change. Because why aren't you beautiful? Why aren't you worthy? You're worthy simply because you exist. You don't need to lose the 10 pounds. You don't need to change the feature. You are beautiful and worthy right now. Right now. And so stop criticizing yourself. That's number one. Number two is stop scaring yourself with worst case scenario. Oh my gosh. The way you can psych yourself out from your own thoughts is actually potently powerful. You can get one message or one email from your manager and start to doom about, oh my gosh, is my job at stake? Am I going to get fired? From one email. One person doesn't text you back and you're like, oh my gosh, am I worthy? Am I lovable? Am I going to find love? From one thing, that is your mind. That is your thoughts creating worst case scenario. And that can change, but it's up to you to stop scaring yourself. Your thoughts are so powerful. It's like your thoughts will create a belief that will create a feeling. And so it's really a call to start thinking about the thoughts that you're thinking so that you can change your beliefs about yourself, so you can change how you feel about yourself. But it all starts with your thoughts. And your thoughts can change. You can change your thoughts to be empowering, to love yourself. And it really starts with the building the awareness of how you are thinking and if you are thinking about worst case scenario. The third one is to be kind and gentle with yourself. In an age where we have instant gratification, where we want the thing instantly, where we get annoyed if we're sitting in traffic, or we get annoyed when we have to wait in a line, your relationship with yourself is built brick by brick, especially if you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself. All these years that you've spent berating yourself, being critical, being mean to yourself, putting conditions on yourself, that is a relationship that you built. And so to build a new one is going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to love yourself tomorrow. The goal isn't to immediately love yourself. The goal is to love yourself a bit more each day so that it grows, so that it's like this beautiful, flourishing relationship. It's built, it's created, it's not instant, and that's okay. Just in a day and age where we want things instantly, the love that you create for yourself is going to grow with time. You don't meet someone on a first date and immediately fall in love with them. You build a relationship. You learn to trust them. You learn to get to know them better. And through that, you fall in love. And the same thing goes for yourself. You don't immediately fall in love with yourself. You learn about yourself. You grow. You start to trust yourself. You build and cultivate practices and nourish yourself. And that is when you do. It's through months and through years that it grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And then you look back and be like, oh my God, look at the growth. Look how much has changed. It's not an instant thing, but you can try and you can cultivate and be kinder and more gentle with yourself. One thing I want to touch on is mistakes and learning from your mistakes and not berating yourself when you make mistakes. Sometimes we can be hard on ourselves, we can be perfectionists, and we can really berate ourselves when we make a mistake or we do something wrong or we fail. But really, that's a part of life. It's a lesson to be learned, and you are a human being. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to mess up. And really loving yourself is being okay with yourself because you did. Do you berate your best friend when they make a mistake or when they do something wrong? No, you're hurt, but you say, it's going to be all right. We're going to take the L, but the L is really a lesson to grow and to cultivate and be better. You're not a perfect human being. Real self-love is acknowledging your faults and loving yourself even still. The fourth one is being kind to your mind. And what do I mean by that? In a day and age where we're constantly doing, we're constantly being, we're constantly inundated with information, being kind to our mind is one, building ourselves up instead of beating ourselves up. You can actually learn and grow from a place of kindness, from a place of compassion, versus like, I gotta do this and da da da. It doesn't have to be hard. It can actually be very soft and nourishing and like a beautiful parenting. It doesn't need to be this strong discipline thing. It can be a practice that you enjoy and that you learn to lean into. And two, I would say looking inward and taking time to be still, to walk without stimulation, to be at peace with who you are in the quiet, in the stillness, and really deepening that relationship with yourself. Some people use meditation, some people use nature, some people just use stillness and getting comfortable with being alone. I think a lot of times we run away from ourselves by doing, and really it's being that you cultivate a deeper relationship with yourself. It's sitting with yourself and sitting with your shadows and sitting with who you are and being okay with that cultivates that relationship. Another thing is to visualize positive outcomes. You were gifted an imagination. You can really start to think of positive outcomes. When you have an interview, you can start to think of how it can go well. When you go on a date, you can think about how it can go well. You can start imagining a life for yourself that is positive and start visualizing positive outcomes. Start visualizing how your makeup is going to come out. Start visualizing how things can go well, how things can work out. It's a habitual pattern of, instead of thinking of the doom and gloom and worst case scenario, you can start thinking of, how can today be awesome? How can I enjoy my day today? Visualizing more positive outcomes increases the love that you have for yourself, because you're not bogged down by what's going to happen, what's going to happen. 5 is praising yourself. Criticism breaks down your spirit and praise builds it up. If you are constantly berating yourself, constantly talking about what you can't do, why you're not worthy, the mistakes you made, who done hurt you and why, all these things, you are breaking down your spirit. But when you pour into yourself, when you speak love and life onto yourself and out loud, you are building up and praising your spirit. You start to become your own best friend. If you have a friend that is constantly criticizing you, constantly talking about the negatives, constantly bringing up your mistakes, constantly bringing up the negative things about your life, how long are you going to be with that friend? How long are you going to have that person in your life? The same goes with yourself, but you can't escape yourself. So might as well build it to be a positive, loving, nourishing relationship. Might as well have it be the most positive experience. Might as well learn. This is all learning. Learn to love yourself and build yourself up and look in the mirror and be like, oh my God, I look good today. Oh my God, I'm giving. Might as well have that be your inner dialogue. How you feel about yourself is so tied to your inner dialogue and your inner thoughts. It's one in one. Another thing is allowing yourself to experience and accept good, even if you do not feel like you deserve it. When you get a compliment, when you get a gift, when you get a promotion, are you like, oh no? Or are you like, thank you, yay, I'm so excited? That is a difference in how you feel and about yourself and how much you love yourself. Do you really think Oprah, when someone is giving her a business deal, she's like, oh no, no, she's like, thank you, yay, how am I gonna make more money? Money isn't the goal, right? But it's, can you accept the good in your life when someone gives it to you? It's a different energy, and learning to accept the good in your life signals to yourself that you are deserving of it. So accept it even if it makes you feel uncomfortable. The 6th one is loving yourself means finding, being, and seeking support. What do I mean by that? A human being in its entirety can only do so much, but there are a plethora of resources that you can find, that you can start, that you can participate in order to heal the things that you want to work on. If you have a problem in an addiction, insecurity, there are support groups for you online, in person. There are resources that you can find, and you don't have to do it alone. Oh, I want to stress that. You do not have to do that alone. You don't need to carry the burdens of your life by yourself. You really don't. You can find the resource. We are blessed to live in an age where you can find a resource, and money need not be the issue. You can find a resource for free, for a discount. You can apply for a scholarship. You can find something to better support you. You really don't have to do it alone. You don't have to carry the burdens of yourself and your past by yourself. You can really drop them and find the resources in order to experience more love. Number 7 is loving your negatives. Self-love is not conditional. You're not going to love yourself when you lose the 10 pounds and when you get the man and when you get the... No. Loving yourself means loving yourself now. Flaws and all, status and all, bank account and all. Loving yourself today. Really loving yourself is loving who you are right now. Loving your flaws, your past, because they make you you. Nobody is you. There's not another person like you. And those flaws, those experiences have shaped you into who you are today. And so might as well embrace them. You can't love yourself on Tuesday because you look like this, but on Thursday because you don't have this. It's not fair, and it's not true to place conditions. You love your best friend regardless of what they look like. You love your sister regardless of how she's acting or what job she has. You can do the same thing for yourself. Number 8 is loving and taking care of your body. Whew! As a woman, there are so many conditions that we put upon ourselves to love our body. It gotta look like we on Sports Illustrated to love our body. And really, what has helped me is to view my body as a vessel instead of an object. And to really love my body means to nourish it and take care of it, instead of hyperfixating on what it looks like and what societal expectation is pressed upon me. This doesn't come natural, especially when you are inundated with messages and maybe even a culture where your body is very, very, very stressed. So this is not something I take lightly, but really, I think when you focus on it being a vessel and it being a tool to support your life, you start to view your body differently, and you start to pay attention to how it feels versus how it looks. And you start to think about how can you nourish your body in a way that serves you. So when you're eating, does this food make you feel tired? Does it make you feel lethargic? Is it giving you energy and making you feel light? When it comes to exercise, changing the model and the paradigm shift to, oh, I gotta do this to look a certain way, to I gotta do this to preserve my bones and my muscles because I want to be able to move fluidly when I'm 85 and walk when I'm that age too. And so starting to move your body and nourish your body in a way that feels good and honors you. That looks so different for everybody, but to shift it how it feels and what it does versus how it looks like has been incredibly helpful for me. Number 9 is probably the most important one to me and the one that has shaped me the most, which is mirror work. Now, mirror work is to look in the mirror and say kind things to yourself. When we were children, we were often scolded by looking like your parent or your teacher scolded you in the eyes, right? So you have associated or have possibly associated negative messages with eye contact. So then to do the reverse and to look at yourself in the mirror and say positive things to yourself is so, so powerful. I can't stress how powerful it is to look at yourself in the mirror and to say, I love you. I love you anyways. It's going to be okay. You're worthy and deserving. You're lovable simply because you exist. You deserve the best in life. To look at yourself in the mirror and say that and pause and wait until you can know that it's true. Because if you are early in your self-love journey, and you say those things, it's possible that you'll feel resistance or you'll feel awkward or you'll feel uncomfortable. And that resistance is actually a gift because it's signaling to you what needs work and what needs to be nourished, and how much resistance you have is the journey, right? So when you say those things, it's really an exercise and a practice and a milestone to be able to be like, oh wow, I say it and I believe it now. Or, oh wow, I haven't said it in a while. That's probably why I don't feel good. So it's like a beautiful practice that you can cultivate to deepen the relationship within. I really, really stress it. And I also want to say that we can only love another or receive love to the capacity that we love ourselves. And so when you start saying those things to yourself regularly, then you are going to begin to believe when another person says it to you. So if I love myself down and I am constantly speaking life into me, and I'm saying I'm lovable, I'm worthy, I'm deserving, I'm beautiful, when someone else starts to say those things to me, I will never doubt it. I'll never be like, oh, I'll be like, yeah, thank you. I love you too. It deepens your ability to receive love because you know you're worthy and deserving of it. And you'll doubt less if it's true when it is mirrored back to you. Or the last step is to love yourself now, to love yourself today. And it need not be when you get the thing, when you get the person, when you buy the house. Your relationship with yourself can actually begin and be cultivated today in a way that's nourishing. Let's say you're like, okay, when I lose the 15 pounds, I'll love myself. Let's say it takes you 5 years to lose the 15 pounds. So for those 5 years, were you just not going to love yourself? Were you just not going to feel worthy and deserving? If the man comes in 2 years, are you just going to spend these next 2 years unhappy and miserable? No. Life is meant to be enjoyed. You are meant to enjoy your daily life, not when the things outside of yourself come or the things later in life come. You are worthy and deserving of joy and love today. Today. But the thing about it is that it's up to you. You decide that. I can make this video every single day, but it's up to you to decide to do the work so that you can believe it for yourself. You that decides whether it's true, and it's you that does the work. And that, I think, is what makes it so beautiful, is that nobody can give it to you. Nobody. You are your healer. You are your biggest love of your life. And it's you that gets to decide what that relationship looks like. You will be there for every failure, for every triumph, for every death, for every rebirth, for every lesson. You will be there. And so might as well make that relationship beautiful. Might as well be able to look in the mirror and say, I love you anyways. I got you no matter what. That deepens your capacity to experience joy and the quality of your life. And that's why I feel so passionate about this topic, is because my life changed when I started to love myself. Oh, I'm getting emotional. And so that is something that I really want for you to experience in this lifetime, is a love so potent that no matter what happens, you can look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I'm good. I love myself. I hope that this message resonated with you. You are so worthy. You are so deserving. But Again, that's up to you to be able to receive. And if you only love yourself a 5 out of 10 and someone gives you love to a 10, you can only experience it to a 5 because that's how small your container is. And I know we've probably experienced that with other people. Like, we love someone a 10, but they only love themselves a 5. So either they self-sabotage or they're uncomfortable, and it's because they only love themselves a 5. So the real goal is to love yourself a 10 so that you can experience a 10 and you can have a 10 life. That is the message. If it resonated with you, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will be back with more videos on how to love yourself more deeply so that you can experience more joy. Bye.